The most fundamental problem facing the current adult population around the world is without a doubt the advent of hyperautomation. It has ceased to be just about machines now or even LLMs. The most striking fact that has come out in the open ever since the introduction of ChatGPT is that the top priority of modern technology and its investors is not higher employment or betterment of people, or delivering better experiences. This consumer-centric approach to technology and business that had been popularized essentially by Steve Jobs and his non-technology native approach to tech entrepreneurialism doesn't hold true in the modern world, where the show is run mostly by engineers and numbers guys, with little to no liberal education or love of the finer artistic spirit that guided good businessmen back in the day. A lot is said about Steve Jobs, and a lot of it is frankly rather negative. He was a known bully with deep emotional inadequacies and was not a fair player of the business game or the tech game for that matter, in any way, shape or form. But one would be deeply remiss to not thank God for the fact that he was not a techie himself. He was an outsider to the tech game and saw it as a new business, something that he could use to achieve his own ambitions. He was an artist of sorts, surrounded by people much smarter than him most of the time, who, by the way, had to have been complete jerks, as anyone who has been around a group of CS or math majors in any major institution will testify. He was a marketer at heart, a salesman, who was mostly just concerned with the appeal of the design, the ease of use, the beauty of the product, the obsession with future, the human element, the extreme disdain of all things managerial and technocratic. All that is missing from the current game. I will concede that the egoism that came with the man would not make for a very compelling story even today. But has getting rid of these outsider businessmen, these design-focused, experience-focused entrepreneurs, brought anything? The games of ego are still on, but this time, the consumer is the one losing the most. A good way to understand what I am saying is to just look at the marketing for current tech. The mass desensitization that we are experiencing towards anything new in tech is not by accident. Facebook has become a literal hell for anyone trying to have a meaningful social experience. Instagram and other sites have become centers for hyper-political and frankly rather extreme rage baiting. Let's not even talk about LinkedIn. Tech is useful now, but it simply isn't exciting. All that tech does these days is cause anxiety. This buzzword culture of everyone trying to get on the next ride and every half-educated idiot with some new insight into B2B learning is exhausting, frankly. I mean, there are a lot of us here who used to think that tech was a fun thing. It was so niche and developing. There were so many websites and it felt like there was a lot of genuinity to it. Every second video on Instagram these days is some gender rage bait or political propaganda baloney. A lot of us only open these apps because it's somehow part of muscle memory now. It's part of the morning schedule. You have to do it. It's enraging and anxious and it's causing you to lose your mind, but here you are doing it again and again and again. And this is because there is no sales to it. There is simply no human contact involved in any of it anymore. It's all parasocial. Even the templates in which people write their posts on LinkedIn or their write-ups on Instagram or any YouTube video essay, they're all the same. And that's it. That's the extent of most of today's internet experience. We need salesmen. We need outsiders in Silicon Valley. We need people who know absolutely nothing about any professional field, calling the shots. The professionals are always a bunch of well-practiced pattern repeaters. They do again and again the one thing that defines them, their profession. They are soulless but brilliantly efficient. And they use this efficiency to suck out every bit of likability, every bit of excitement and nuance out of what is the modern internet experience. The modern internet is little more than a carefully crafted drug ensuring maximum attention retention. And there needs to be some sort of a revival of the little man. There needs to be a way for new internet institutions to emerge. And we desperately need outsiders for it, who rely less on the technology and more on the human element. They don't need to be nice people. Steve Jobs was anything but nice. But this surgical precision that characterizes the current media consumption hellscape has to go.